my wife to read that one.
Oh, just so you know, these were my things that I said. 20 things I've learned about marriage in 20 years. So I said, I'm not always right.
Say that again.
Just most of the time.
No, say it again.
That's what I said.
Say it
That's
again.
what it says.
I want
I'm
to.
not
I want to. Oh,
always right. Just most of the time.
no, we need to just stop at that first half. Just come on.
When is it that I'm not right? Name one time that I wasn't right.
We're not gonna be that transparent.
No, go ahead.
No, no. But as Cheryl was sharing,
I don't mind.
no, no, I'm
Because
not.
most of
No,
the
no,
time I'm right.
and I'm not going to go.
You
Excuse me.
cannot think of any
Excuse me.
instances
Yes,
because
I
most
can,
of
but
the
I'm not gonna
time
do it. But
I'm right.
anyway, now as I stated, I'm not always right, just most of the time. On that vernacular, it can be flipped to my side as well. There are times that
These are my points, and I
yeah, that's
believe
not the
that,
point. They
yes, you
were your
shared your
points.
points.
They were your points.
Thank you.
Now they're a corporate thing. So resonate on that. Anyway, now as I was stating, by understanding that you're not always right, sometimes you're allowing your ego not to get too big, not to get too grandiose. As much as that, I made plenty of mistakes, and I know I'll make future mistakes. It's not going to change, or things are not going to happen. Not everything that you plan to do or autocratically just goes the way of the plan. If it doesn't go the way of the plan, it's something my wife keeps stressing me. Try to create some gray matter around you. Try to deal in the grays, because I'm very black and white, as you can tell by the shirts. But anyway, as we focus on the things that occur in our life, we have to understand that there are so many learnable moments. There are so many situations which are calling out, not so much to prove who's right, who's wrong, who's good, who's bad. Those are just decisions, and really, those are really just opinions. But what it is to really look at the essence of the situation, and just to say, you know, if I may have wronged her, it's not about me being right or wrong. But if I've wronged her in a particular way, then it's up to me to figure out that way to reciprocate in kind in stating that my apology. And it should be the same way, vice versa. Sometimes we can get caught up in relationships, and sometimes even business relationships, that we're so adamant about our way or the highway. In some instances it works, but then even after a while, and I've told this to friends and family, dictators only can rule but so long. Even Steve Jobs, the great mind behind Apple, because of his mind, you started from the original iPod to, before his transition, he already had thoughts about, the iPhone 8, iPhone 9, as Apple alludes to, and they just slowly bring on this thing. But he went from being such a tyrant when he initially started Apple, and which kind of pushed him out, to the point where it's because he thought he was right. Everything, if it didn't go his way, it was just wrong. Mm-hmm. And when you start to learn through collaboration and through partnership, which a marriage is collaboration, is through partnership. If you go into it, like, even if you have the greatest ideas, realize somebody's input will help that thing go even further. But if you allow yourself to be too close-minded on the situation, then instead of having an asset, you are creating the liability. So when I look at that thought about I'm not always right just most of the time, yeah, those are really opinions. Those are really just, generalized feelings that every individual has within themselves. But if you're just walking around in this path, regardless if it's with your partner, with your business associates, with your family members, and you're just, I'm right, 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 you're going to notice that your circle is going to be small, and it's not because you have a lot of wisdom around you. There's only a few people that can be around you. Your circle is going to be small because no one wants to be around you. Always understand that there's a learnable moment at every instance of every day. As long as you understand that, yeah, that opinion, my feeling of being right could be there, but that's not ultimately the point. Ultimate point is to create the synergy and harmony to understand that look, it's ebbs and flows, like we just said, peaks and valleys. And if you can deal with the ebbs and flows, then you're meant for success, Cheryl.
Absolutely. And when it's a point where in a relationship, communication, this is all goes down to communication. I'm not always right. And I said that because if you feel that you're always right in a relationship, um, you're going to be very disappointed most of
Hmm.
the time. And a relationship also is about, if you're dealing with two people that are sane mind, and you've been together a long time, and you kind of know the flow of each other. You get to the point where now you can be able to talk. Like, we had a discussion, like when we went away, and I was able to be very candid with my husband about certain things, um and it's just a point where you get to know your mate, and you get to know something. Even if you don't think something is right or wrong, there's a way you can talk to them to say,
True. Mhm.
something isn't right or something isn't wrong, or whatever the case is that I know this man. um and I've been with him a very long time. I know when he's mad, I know when he's glad, I know when he's sad. And I know when he's not feeling well. He's a little under the weather today, but he came right on and then did it. He caught a cold in Punta Cana, and he came right on. He really doesn't have all his voice, um, but he's here. So the thing is that you push through to those things. And during this broadcast, I'll probably talk a little more than he would, because, or he'll throw it to me more, because that's what we do when the other person is not up to par. That's
Collaboration.
what we do. When the other person is not up to par, you just don't drop it. That's what it means about, when you take those vows. What are you going to leave when someone's sick?
Mm.
What happens? Go ahead.
Let me say something. One of the things that I like Cheryl brought up this point, and this is one of the reasons why we're such a stickler about making sure that this couple motivators movement becomes big,
Yes.
about building legacies and building, you know, legacy type wealth, and those opportunities are forthcoming. But she made a thought that just it hit me just now. It is so easy to fall in love,
Hmm. So sweet, right?
but it's so damn hard to maintain. Now, through that maintenance package, and that goes back to, we're going to, because I want her to finish because we're not going to flow over time. But just put it like this. Think about it. If you have any level of wisdom, that euphoric moment when you get that house or get that car, euphoria, greatness, you on cloud nine, nobody can tell you a darn thing. Now all of a sudden you start seeing those bills come in every month, regardless if it's a mortgage, regardless if it's your car note, regardless if it's light and gas, regardless of those credit card bills, because some of y'all are still paying. At the time of this taping, it's April, but some of y'all are probably still paying for Christmas now. So it's not about sometimes being right or wrong. It's about resonating in the fact of collaboration and understand that I don't need to be Superman. She doesn't need to be Wonder Woman. But there's plenty of times I have to act like Superman, not to say that to be her hero, but at the same time for me to undergird certain things that she doesn't do. And believe you me, she sometimes has to pull out the lasso that Wonder Woman will pull out, and you know what I'm saying, that truth serum. Because remember, those of you who remember back in the day, that truth serum, she'll throw that lasso out, and all of a sudden got the person hemmed up. Next you know, kids are telling the truth, people around there telling the truth, all of a sudden the lie is disappearing. It happens. But it goes back to that whole statement of navigating away from thinking that you're always right. Through collaboration, you do so much more and you're greater and successful for it. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We're And I want you guys to understand, our marriage is always being tested because we're in the forefront of the couple motivators. This thing about marriage is not something that is that we just thought of yesterday.
Mm-mm.
This is something that has been in the pipeline for a very long time. And if this is something that you guys are passionate, if you're passionate about marriage, if you're passionate about your relationship, this is a thing where we learned a long time ago that if you fighting against and competing with your spouse, you're not going to have a successful marriage. Um, and if we implore you, if you differ with us, you can let us know. But and also bringing in, if you're just on your second marriage and you feel like you're doing a really well job, or if you're in a relationship with someone and you feel like it's not working, you need to do some type of self check, in regards to, don't throw away the good woman, don't throw away the good man, because some things is happening to you in your past that is now present for you. And we got to learn how to be able to move in the day.
Mm.
And basically, with this being said, is that, but you not being always right in a relationship, what do you think the other spouse is there for? Is just, if you always calling the shots, then what
Mm.
is the spouse there for?
Mm.
And you know what? I had to learn that as an alpha female. I had
Mm.
to learn that my husband needs to be needed. Ladies, if you ever heard that, and especially women that are in power roles, to take the lead and have been come from single mother homes and stuff of that nature, you saw the woman always leading. I implore you to sometime need your spouse, because if he's not feel like he's not fitting a piece in your puzzle, then that means that he's on the outskirts of your puzzle.